Hi, I'm Nikki from Teaching Autism, and welcome to the Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Are you an autism or special education professional? Are you a teacher or therapist looking for support and new ideas? You may even be a parent, family member, or carer. This podcast is perfect to help you find out more information, support, and get some of your questions answered. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode on my Teaching Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Today, we are talking about something that can happen with many of our children, both at home and in school. It could be both at the same time, or it could be one or the other. And if you have a weak stomach, like me, it can be one of your worst nightmares, and that is smearing. If you are eating right now, you may want to pause this podcast and come back to it later on, because it's definitely a subject that I don't like to talk about while I'm eating. So smearing is hard work, and it can become quickly mentally draining if you're dealing with smearing on a regular basis. Whether it's smeared around your bathroom, your classroom, even all around your house, it's not the nicest of things to have to clean up. And I get a lot of messages from people who are at their last tether because they just don't know how to help with the smearing. First, we need to think about why the child is smearing. So a lot of people will just assume that smearing's being done because the child's being silly, or they find it funny, or they want attention. But that's not always the case. There's a lot of reasons why someone may be smearing, and some of those can be behavioural, it can be sensory, or it could even be medical. So just like anything with our children, like I always say, before we look at changing or stopping something, we need to look at the reason behind it. So we need to look at that why, that function, before we come up with strategies to help resolve the smearing. So why might someone smear? Well, I recommend getting together as a team in your classroom, or if you're a parent, ask to meet with your child's teacher and their team as well. Now, there could be a huge range of reasons why someone is smearing. Is it the toilet paper? Is it too thick? Is it too thin? Is it too rough? Does it hurt them? Do they struggle with their fine motor skills and struggle with getting the toilet tissue and wiping themselves? Are they sick? If you have a child who has never smeared before and now all of a sudden they are, it could possibly be down to if they're not feeling very well. So if they have diarrhea, they may not like the feel of it to touch. Or it could be the opposite, where they do like the feel of it and they enjoy touching it and smearing it around and playing with it. It may also be that they don't understand what they should be doing when they go to the toilet. Do they know that they need to wipe themselves? Do they understand that they should poo in their nappy or down the toilet? There are a lot of great visual resources available to help our students understand the process of going to the toilet, and I'll link to some of those in the show notes today as well. Are they looking for a reaction? There's a lot of behaviours our students and children display that we're able to use planned ignoring for, but smearing faeces is a difficult one. It is really hard to ignore someone who is smearing, especially when it's all over them, you, or your surroundings, and they will soon realise just how much attention they can gain from smearing faeces. And finally, fear. Are they scared of going to the toilet or the bathroom? Are they scared of opening their bowels? I've had students who are toilet trained, but they're scared to open their bowels down the toilet. They want their nappy back. That's their comfort place for opening their bowels. It's all about knowing each of your students. This is why if you follow me across social media, my website, my podcasts, you'll always hear me talk about how important I think it is for us to spend time every year getting to know our students and build relationships with them. Find out what makes them tick and really get to know them, because this will make things so much easier when you come across them through the year. So do any of these fit with your student or your child? Is anything making you think about something that may be causing them to smear? And now you may be wondering about what you can do if you have a child or student who is smearing. So I'm going to share some of my best tips. First, if you're a parent, speak to your child's school. And if you're a teacher in the school, invite the child's family in to talk with them. Each party may have picked up on tips for how to stop smearing and deal with it. Between yourselves, you can also have a better chance of working out why they're smearing and how you can help them. Also, don't be afraid to take a visit to your doctor just to check that there's nothing medically wrong that is causing your child to smear. This is really important if your child is nonverbal or can't communicate with you that they're feeling unwell. Also, experiment using different types of toilet paper or wipes. If toilet roll is the issue, You can use toilet wipes, and these are like wet wipes and they can be smoother for your child or student to use, especially if the toilet paper is too rough and is hurting them. Social stories are another great resource. They can help your student or child understand more about what happens when they go to the toilet, what they should be doing, and the process of what happens with wiping themselves and finishing up in the toilet as well. You can even use one that discusses about what to do once they've been to the toilet and to help avoid smearing. If you think it's maybe sensory or texture based, try and find something else with the same texture that they can play with in the classroom or in your home. Some examples are Play-Doh, painting with textures like mixing sand, glue and paint together, or playing with jelly foam. Even the jelly stuff that goes in the bath to make it that different texture. Try as hard as you can to avoid giving a reaction when they smear. I know it's so hard, but you can move them to another room without paying attention to it. If it's all over them, just pop them into the bath or the shower and get them washed. Change their clothes. Try not to draw any attention to it. You can also set up a visual area in your toilet or bathroom so that you can refer to these when they are going to the toilet. I know a lot of parents also find onesies helpful to avoid smearing, and there's some that you can get that have the opening on the back of them rather than the front. This helps to make it more difficult for the individual to get into their nappy or their feces and smear them. So these can be worth investing in and trying to see if they work for you and your child. If you head back a few episodes on my podcast, you will find an interview I did with a fantastic company who make their own sensory-friendly onesies. And you can design these totally from scratch. They ship internationally. And this way you can put together a onesie that you think your child will love and will also help with their smearing too. So that's all for today's topic. And while it's not an overly pleasant one to talk about, it's definitely one that is needed in our field. I hope you found this episode helpful and that it's maybe given you some food for thought about why your child or student may be smearing. Don't forget to head over to the show notes to check out some great resources to help with toileting. And if you have any great tips to share with others about smearing, be sure to leave a comment. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.